The show is made possible in part by its supporting sponsors: Blue Water Power Group of Companies, Joe's Discount Tire, and AskGuy.ca. This is a cool room that I'm sitting in right now with a cool dude that I've known for a few years, Andrew Borody. Thanks so much for welcoming me into, I guess, is this a music room or a gaming room?
Started as a music room, and then as they stopped playing in our original band, Peace Pilot that we were in, I just got some video game stuff in here too. Right. I got two young kids now.
Some of that here in B-roll, but you've got quite the setup going on.
Yeah, if we're going to spend more time at home, I might as well have something to do when everybody goes to bed.
How are you spending more time at home now compared to, say, a few years ago?
Well, just the fact of having kids, you're not out with your buddies all the time.
Yeah.
So you stay out of trouble too, so you're at home a little more often. Yeah. It's, now instead of going out and playing golf all day with the boys, we just put on the VR headset and hit the virtual golf course there. Right. Maybe have a couple beers. And
there you go.
Yeah.
So your wife, Erica, and then it's your son upstairs?
Baby Jack, 10 and a half months old, and Reese, senior kindergarten. So we had our parent-teacher interviews today.
Oh, is that right?
So she's a little me, I suppose. So for
for
better or worse.
That could be a long conversation, maybe?
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
Sarnia. Born and raised in Sarnia.
We're out here in Corunna right now. But...
Yep. So as soon as Erica got pregnant with our daughter, Reese, her parents were all excited and said, if you move out to Corunna, we'll babysit anytime you want. So the house went up for sale right away, and they followed through with their end of the bargain. So, yeah, Mike and Kathy, great in-laws, just as much friends as they are.
Yeah, right on. How long have you been married?
Been married a year, but we've been together for 7 years.
Yeah.
So, we got our wedding delayed a couple times because of COVID and all that. So,
right. So, but here you are. You have a beautiful home here.
Thank you.
Lots of space. And as we're doing this interview, Erica is decorating with Christmas trees. And
she's very festive.
Yeah.
She loves the holidays. And it's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's so from Sarnia, what school did you go to?
I grew up going to private Christian school.
Really?
So there's a school at Bethel Church I went to for 3 years, and then switched over to, it's called New Life School.
Okay.
And that ended up going to the River City Vineyard building.
Nice.
For grades 7 and 8, and then I went to St. Clair for high school.
Yeah. How was school for you?
It was good. It was good. Yeah. Elementary school, we had private Christian school, so we had a graduating class in grade 8 of 3 guys. So it was a culture shock when I got to high school, and I wasn't the smartest and most athletic guy anymore in my grade.
A little bit of competition now.
A lot of competition, yeah.
How did you handle that?
It took a couple of years. I don't think the teachers liked me too much for a couple of them. And then I kind of chilled out a bit, figured it out. Then, Then by the end of it, I'm hanging out with some of my high school teachers now.
Yeah. Were you into sports and stuff?
Yep, always into sports. Played baseball and hockey growing up. Played travel fastball, actually, for a couple of years. We ended up getting second in the province the 1 year, so that was a pretty cool experience. Started hockey late, so just played house league. But that was fun too.
I see a Sting jersey over here, so you're a Sting fan?
Yeah, big Sting fan. I got this actually. I'll grab it.
Yeah, go ahead. Take that and show it off.
I got it for my 10th birthday. Still says Brody on the back.
Nice.
Actually, I got a text message from Daniel that handles some of the bookings for the Sting. So
yes.
I'm singing the game this weekend here on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Singing the anthem.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So nice. I think they might be playing Flint. I'm not.
Yes.
So we'll get both national anthems in there.
Oh yeah. Did you have to learn the Star Spangled Banner, or did you kind of already know?
I've been to enough sporting events and watched enough TV where I think I got her down pat.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's and then you're a gamer as well. I'm seeing like Call of Duty up there. Is that one of your favorites?
Yeah. If I'm bored or whatever, and the kid's down for a nap, I usually shoot down here for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and a couple buddies online. And
yeah. Music is obviously a big part of your life, and we're going to get into a recent project you're involved with. But talk about how that started for you. Like, did you just pick up a guitar one day and say, I want to learn, or is it in the family? Where did that come from?
Yeah, my brother played guitar when he was in high school. He started doing that, so I was just kind of always around him. And being influenced that way, my mom played piano in the church band, so did piano lessons for a little bit. I liked playing it. I didn't like doing the theory so much.
Right.
So I stopped doing that and self-taught guitar. Mm-hmm. So high school, locked myself in my bedroom for hours and learned a whole Nirvana album or Pearl Jam or whatever, right? Yeah. So did that, and then I guess I started learning more. I was in an original band called Fusius when I was in high school. with me, Adrian Conant, Trevor Johnson, and Tim Anderson. So my brother too for a bit, my brother Daryl, and yeah, just a lot of gigs, a lot of practice. 6 days a week we'd be in my buddy's garage, right? So
yeah, right. And that most bands they start. It was a cover band.
No, we started all originals.
Really,
yeah. And we ended up doing an album. Sound quality wasn't the best, but I still got copies of it and all that.
Yeah,
and it's fun to listen to every now and then.
Where did you record that? Like here in the basement, or did you go somewhere?
Mark O'Reilly out in Brights Grove.
Okay.
He's a keyboard player. So yeah, we did 10 songs with him. And yeah, it was a cool experience. It's a learning experience. We did a couple different sessions at different recording studios.
What was the learning experience there?
Just the patience you need, nailing down a take. You have to play it perfectly, or they just stop it, re-go, over and over again until, you can hit it. So that's where I got a lot of my practice for vocals anyways, and learning a lot, and also running the karaoke at La Cantina for years.
Yeah, I remember. I think that's where we first met, was at a karaoke.
Yep.
And, you do have quite a powerful voice and a wide range, I would say, as well. Does that all self-taught as well, or did that come from school days?
Yeah, I always liked singing, and the slower nights at karaoke, I get to sing by myself for about 4 hours straight, and you want to be able to have a big enough repertoire where you can play anywhere you want. Like I'll do the Legion, or volunteer at like Marshall Gowan
Manor,
yeah. So stuff all the way back to the 40s and 50s too. I like singing it. And I like performing it for them, and you can see if they're not moving around too much, you can still see the legs moving or they're mouthing the words, and it's super rewarding. So
how did you get started doing that?
Just friends that work there. They have entertainment once a week, so they just threw my name out there, and then got a hold of me, and went well the first time. So just keep going back, and also the home out here in Corunna I've done as well. So
nice. So you're obviously, you've got some community beliefs in you as well, like in giving back into the community. That's important to you? Absolutely,
yeah. I love doing volunteer work or playing for fundraisers. I'm playing one tonight out in Brights Grove, actually. AAA hockey, U12, I think it is.
Okay.
So, playing out there. They sold a bunch of tickets, and should be a fun night out at Huron Oaks there. So
yeah, cool. What is it about Corunna, say, that has they've really got it, like Sarnia does? I'd say, I don't know, Sarnia, Corunna, all around Lambton County, really, but Corunna really has a unique community spirit to it, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. Even meeting Erica, I never had too many reasons to come downriver. I always thought Corunna was 20 minutes away, and she invited me to Courtright the one day. I said, I'm not driving 45 minutes after
all
work.
The way to Courtright?
5 minutes down the road. So I never came down this way too much. But yeah, everybody knows everybody. Once you kind of get in good with everybody, sometimes it might be a little, they're like, who's this outsider? Right?
It's a little cliquey in the beginning.
Cliquey. Yeah. But it turned out, and I was accepted into the cult of Corunna here. So it's good.
Corunna, yeah. But it really, with Captain Kidd Days and Fireman Field Days, and there's so many things that everybody, and I find that all around Lambton County, I think that everybody, when needed, just knows how to come together.
Yep, absolutely. And that's one thing. Noah Leonard, really talented young musician, he was supposed to do run the talent show this year for Captain Kidd Days in the park there. He ended up getting appendicitis. Yes, so they asked me last minute to take over. So I was like, oh, geez. Yeah. So I ended up emceeing that, which ended up being great. A lot of young talent, like young guitar players, keyboard players. And the one girl, the singer, she was afraid. She didn't want to sign up because she was so nervous to get up there and sing, and she ended up winning.
Right.
So it's like, if you can get over that initial shock or fear of, people watching you or whatever, you might have a little social anxiety. Like, I've been through all that too. And
it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even still for you, right?
Oh yeah. If I even playing gigs, a group of people I don't know in a big building, and just feeling out what songs you might want to play or anything like that, and get a little sweaty the first couple songs.
Right.
And
It's nice to see that talent show. I did that for years. I was a host, and then I did say to them one year, I said, because I'm a little more grayer in the top now, maybe you should get somebody.
I wish I was gray.
Maybe you should get somebody a little younger. And I know they had Noah, and it was great that you stepped in for that. Because that's an important part of that Captain Kidd Days event.
Yep.
Can we talk mental health for a moment?
Sure.
You know, you brought kind of up the anxiety thing. Is that something that you've had to deal with your family or yourself or anything? Or how do you deal? We've all. I mean, I guess we've all got mental health, right? So, how do you deal with it?
Well, different ways, I guess. Like, for a good number of years, I'd have the odd panic attack, or it could even, you know, run a course through a couple of weeks where you're always on the verge. You could feel it. Your arms start going numb, you know, and I've had it bad enough where, like, my arms lock up. I can't speak. I can't move my hands or whatever. So at one point, I prescription for lorazepam from the doctor, and I'd have to take one every now and then, and it just kind of calms you down, and then you end up melting into the couch or whatever. And that's one way to deal with it. Another way, I'd get up, maybe if I started feeling a little off. It's almost like a disconnect between your mind and your body, right? And then your mind goes for a run, and you can't stop it. So get up and walk around the neighborhood as long as you need. Cool off a little bit. And yeah. It's just one of those things. It's don't really know what causes it. It just pops up. It's much, much more rare now, which is a great thing. And yeah, I never started till later in life, probably my late 20s.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What do you think brought that on?
Just maybe being overwhelmed. Yeah, as you get older, there's added pressures.
Sure.
Life changes a little bit. You're probably going out, and just before kids, I think it really started, going out a lot, you know, hangovers a lot. It used to happen. You'd be hungover more times than not. It would kind of kick in the next day, and because your body's wondering what's going on, and yeah. But your brain knows, but your body might not. So I find it's when there's kind of a disconnect there. But yeah, much better now, and
that's great.
Hopefully, it's not something that gets passed down to my kids, right? Because that'd be pretty tough to see. So
yeah. Thanks for sharing that. That's important. Music. Let's switch gears to that now. I would say music is an outlet for most people who are into music, play music, write music. You kind of do a little bit of everything there. You play, but you write as well, right? Right,
yeah. Just all the way back to high school. Probably 13, 14, I started just writing my own originals and different styles. I mean, different styles of life. It used to be kind of country-ish, and then I dated a Bob Dylan fan, so then I got into the folky thing and get the harmonica on, right? And then, just you develop your own style, too, with all your friends, which is what I was able to do. Yeah. Playing in a rock band around town. So
you're eclectic, I would say.
Okay, that's a good word.
And well, the way you talked about the 40s to now, and where did the knowing that music? Like, I mean, how old are you now?
38 years old.
Yeah, so
born in '85.
Wow, I've known you that long, eh?
Wow, 20 years probably.
Imagine how I feel.
You look the same though.
Oh, whatever. Thanks so much. But was that mom and dad? Did they listen to music, and they listen to that older music too?
My dad wasn't ever really a music guy. He's my sports guy.
Okay.
And, you know, my mom, my brother, actually, the Beatles right there on the wall. Yeah. He's a big Beatles fan.
That's
so
cool.
Even some of the covers they do go back to the 50s and stuff.
So he must love the new song that's out right now.
He does. Yeah, he sent it to me and my brother, and the video. Watch that too.
Yeah.
It's cool. Now and then, yeah, good tune.
Yeah.
It's always nice to get something new from a band that hasn't been playing since 1978 or whatever it is, 79.
Something like that.
Yeah. Before me, anyways. But yeah, a lot of my music influences. He's listened to Nirvana a lot in high school, so they were my favorite band for a long time. So.
And when you write, is it the process of, okay, I'm going to sit down and write today, or is it aha moment comes up and you go, I got to stop what I'm doing and write that now?
It used to be like that. I write less these days, but late at night or whatever, I'll just sit down with my guitar here in the room or out in the TV room, and just if I do something that sounds cool, I say, okay, I'm going to put that down a little bit and see if I can work on that. So, yeah, I'd like to write more. I think it's probably really developed, like as far as writing. I just haven't got too much down the last couple of years, but I put one on a few years ago on YouTube that I wrote for a buddy, so check that out.
Yeah, where do we find you on YouTube?
Just put Andrew Borody. The song's called Hold. Okay. It was just something that came to me the one day, and I thought I'd get the camera set up, thought it was good enough, and just recorded it. And
what's that about?
It's about a buddy. Him and his wife had a hard time conceiving, kind of thing.
Right.
But then they had a kid, perfectly healthy, and yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. A real expression there too. Again, that comes back to with that music and life experiences, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of the things you do, and they are typically close to your heart. And I think that's what makes them great from what I've seen that you've put out there. So again, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Boy, we could go so many directions with you. Like we already have already. Like you've had, I talk about eclectic music, but you've had quite an eclectic life as well up to this point.
Yeah.
Now you're working at Shell, is that right?
Yep, been there 13 years, 15 with co-ops, process operator at the Shell refinery here in Corunna. So it's another reason to move out here, 5 minutes door to door. Right. So I get a couple more minutes of sleep every day. So I get to sleep until 4:35 in the morning now. So that's nice. Yeah.
All right. That's great. Yeah. So you enjoy that, obviously.
I do, yeah. It's working with the people you work with makes the job, as far as I'm concerned, right? Yeah. So if it was a bunch of people maybe I didn't get along with, it could make for some long days, especially in shutdown season when you're working 100-hour weeks, right? So, yeah.
Well, and you've been able to have that to provide for your family. That's obviously, you got a wonderful home here and a wonderful family. So
very fortunate for the opportunities I've had.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
That. Let's and we may go back in time, but let's come to present day. You're playing with a band that I can tell you, I'm a little jealous. I was like, wow. Jealous in the sense of like, it's nice to see that type. I'm a huge Bob Seger fan. I've been for years.
Yep.
And my karaoke days, I used to sing Bob all the time. Met him once briefly, but anyway.
Nice.
Classic Seger is the band.
Yep.
And they're a Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band tribute, right? That's quite a journey too. Just talk about how that came about for you.
Well, they started. I think there were six of them. I don't think they had the keyboards yet. But I was in a cover band with Chris Reed and Roberto Gismondi, the guitar player there, and they said they needed somebody to sing backups and maybe some acoustic. And they said, we know a guy, so they got a hold of me. And I went out, practiced with them a couple times, and I was like, hey, this could be a cool project. They had a gig lined up in Sarnia and one in Chatham as well. So, it's probably about 4 practices before we actually started playing shows. So I remember the last practice was a little rough, and we're like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And the shows went well. So, I guess when the pressure was on, everybody... It's a 9-piece band, too, so everybody has to do their own homework and know the songs and then show up and play them, right? You can't always get 9 guys together.
Right.
For a practice, right? And 2 brothers, the one's in Woodstock, one's in London, the McLaughlin brothers. And they're fantastic, so they're the furthest away from where we live, and everyone else is Sarnia, so... And
that's a lot of coordination going on there. I would think.
It's a lot. Yeah, Darren McClay, the Bob Seger, the band, he runs everything. He owns... or runs Revision Entertainment, I believe it's called. He gets all kinds of tribute bands into Sarnia and does other booking for them as well as a majority of ours, plus sings his head off for days at a time. It's pretty impressive how he's able to... But
this has been like a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Like you guys played down in the United States recently. Cincinnati, I think was...
we did Cincinnati, Ohio, Findlay, Ohio, the flag capital of America.
Right.
We were down there, Louisville, Kentucky, Muscle Shoals in Alabama. So we recorded at Muscle Shoals Studios.
Like that?
We're Sweet Home Alabama and
Talk
Freebird.
About, who's played there? And
Kodachrome, Paul Simon, Cher recorded there, the Stones. So it's almost like the studio. It's an unassuming building. It's just a rectangle, flat roof. You go in there and it's just got pictures. It's like a museum / recording studio, right? So you're in a vocal booth and there's Mick Jagger with the maracas. I think they wrote Wild Horses there and a couple other songs. Brown Sugar, I think, was another one.
Wow.
And the same tiles on the wall. Like they haven't updated the interior very much. And in the basement, they got all the records still lining the walls, all the gold records.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
What's the you must have had a feeling when you walked in that building and then all of a sudden you realized who was there before you and you're standing in the same spot.
Yeah.
Can you describe that?
Oh, just the history of all the songs that have been recorded there. And we recorded on the same piano, like as Kodachrome and Sweet Home Alabama, and you can hear it when Robbie McLaughlin was playing the keys. You can hear the voice of that piano. Like, it sounds just like the recording, obviously, but it has its own voice. It's really neat. A lot of the old equipment that they recorded with, and halfway through the session, Connor Alnicki said, "I think I'm playing Prince's drum kit." I go, "Why?" It's purple with the gold hardware, and he looked down, and there's the Prince logo right on top of the kick drum.
Wow.
They're like, "Okay, I think you are." Yeah. So I don't think they have a knockoff stuff in the studio. So they must have bought it, or the drummer came in for a session and said, "Hey, just whatever, keep them," or whatever. But just little things like that, and I think we did about 17 songs live off the floor. So and we got some videographers in there as well for it. It was a pretty special moment, and sure it wasn't cheap for Darren to get down there and do all that, you know. But it's a crazy experience for us as musicians and music fans. It's pretty incredible. Very lucky and fortunate to be part of that band.
Yeah.
So I do that. Acoustic, electric, and vocals, and some percussion. So I'm trying to do as many things as I can to make myself non-redundant, right? So if they get rid of me, they got to get 3 or 4 other people.
Right.
So yeah. You should see me rock the shaker now. It's, heart and soul instrument. Yeah.
You're fortunate that you're able to do that traveling. Like, is this, you've had to coordinate this through work?
Yeah. So basically, we know in advance pretty far what gigs we're going to have. But if one pops up and I'm scheduled for work, I get another guy to cover my shift, and I'll work one for him. So it had to happen last January. We were down in Florida and got to go down to Key West and Miami and Clearwater. And so the guy picked up 3 of my shifts, and then I end up working for him prime time in the summer. So but it's worth it though, like the experience and having the family come down. And
well, I was going to say, so the family comes and joins you sometimes? Or?
Sometimes they do. If it's going to be too much driving and too much music, then no, it's not worth it with a baby, right? That time in Florida, the baby was 2 weeks old, so we rented an RV. 29-hour drive down to Florida. It was something else. Brought the in-laws, so me and my father-in-law Mike just switched back and forth. But yeah, stop every 3 hours.
And you had a built-in babysitter.
Yeah. So no, they still got their partying in too, so that was fun. So next time we're going actually back to Florida in January, Fort Pierce, Fort Myers, and Jacksonville, and then I'm flying the family down after.
Wow.
To kind of take a little vacation and do Disney and all that, and so really lucky there.
And as you get older and life changes, you'll be able to sit back and go, "Wow, look at that thing we did," you know, and appreciate, I guess. I'm sure you already are appreciating the opportunity that you've been given.
Yeah, and you're still kind of in it. So like a couple weeks ago, we played Massey Hall in Toronto. So that's a pretty big deal for a band.
Of course it is.
Regardless if you're playing a tribute act or if you're doing originals, like you're on that stage. And all backstage in the building and the history and everything. It happens so fast too. Like it's hard to take it all in. Yeah. So
And you're selling out, like the band is selling out. And I know even here at the Imperial Theater, you guys were playing, and I was like, okay, I got to get tickets for this, and I couldn't do it.
Should have let me know.
I tried to reach out to a couple
last
people
minutes.
and say, come on, you know, like I really wanted to see that. And I saw so many video clips from people with their phones and stuff, and they're just loving it. That's got to be a rush for you on the hometown stage.
Yeah, well, knowing all your friends are in the crowd. Everybody knows everybody in Sarnia, or people that go to the Classic Albums Live or any other tribute or even plays at the Imperial, right? Like, everybody knows everybody, especially, like, you bring a bunch of people down from Corunna, like, they're pretty rowdy, so it's good. Yeah, the hometown crowds are rowdy. American crowds are actually pretty rowdy, too. Yeah. Compared to some of the towns in Ontario. Like, they're there to party.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's an older audience usually too, being Bob Seger.
Right.
It's, like 60s and 70s is usually, you get the younger ones too, but for the most part.
Bigger in the 70s, I'd say he was,
I'd say, like as far as the ages of the people in the crowd.
That's right. Yeah.
Sarnia, it would be like everyone in the band and their friends. So a bit younger than we're used to too, so that's why they're probably a little more rambunctious. But and there's just so many good songs with Seger that you can pick from. So we've changed the set list around multiple times, and you can always add new songs.
I was going to say that would be a tough thing to do. Like what not what to leave out, but what to keep in, or vice. Like, yeah, he had so many. Right?
I know, and you only have so much time in a night, right? So maybe your favorite tune you don't get time to play, or
there's a couple you have to do.
Night Moves. Right. Night Moves is one for sure that gets everybody pumped up. I like a Rock. There's a lot of slower tunes. He has a lot of slower tunes that are just really good too. Right? You got to do old time rock and roll, obviously, but that's the one that gets the people up and dancing.
Well, and Night Moves was really his first song that took him beyond Detroit.
Right.
Yep. So I mean, that would be a classic pick for sure.
Yeah.
And have you guys played in Detroit? Like,
Detroit Music Hall.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right downtown there. That's another historic building, and the amount of people that have been through there, all the Motown acts, right? Like it's pretty crazy. All the green room's all down below the stage in that building, and it's just huge, like practice pianos everywhere, and a nice bar set up and kitchen and all that. Like, it really varies from theater to theater, so you never know what you're going to get when you kind of walk in off the street backstage. I like to go by myself and look out in the auditorium and see what I'm going to be looking at for the evening, and then you get in there and load up. It's a lot of work setting up and sound checking all that, 2 or 3 hours.
Sure. Break
for dinner and chill out in the green room or whatever room they have available to.
Have you ever met somebody that you might consider famous, or just a unique thing that happened in any of these places you traveled?
Alto Reed, the sax player, his ex-wife was at our show in Florida.
Oh yeah.
So she was in love with Christopher Molyneux too, and she was he'd be so proud, but he stood on the other side of the stage, so maybe you guys can switch over that way. So okay, we didn't really know that, right?
Where Alto used to
used to be on if you're looking at the stage to the right of Bob, or Christopher's to the left. But and
what an amazing player.
Yeah. Oh, Christopher or Alto? Oh, both of them.
Both.
Yeah.
I've seen Bob play twice.
Okay.
And I remember, Alto just this saxophone is as big as him almost, running around, not just playing it, running around the stage. They had like a ramp up behind and everything.
Cool.
Just all over the place. And I'm thinking, how do you keep your timing and your breath while running?
He must run when he's not playing a baritone saxophone.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it was just crazy. So that was kind of neat. Did you get a chance to talk to her? Or?
Yeah, we saw him out in the lobby and we were taking photos with them and everything like that.
With Alto there?
No, he's passed already. So
right.
Right. So it was just her with some of her friends. I think they're together maybe 20 some odd years.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of thing.
Right.
So he's known as quite the ladies' man, I think. So yeah. Life on the road, I guess, is we play as often as Bob Seger did, right?
I suppose.
320 shows a year for years and years.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
When I saw Bob, and again, this is 20 some years ago, so Alto, there was Bob had his kids running around on stage, Alto at the time, his kids, and there was a former band member, I can't remember his name, he's now in a wheelchair, or was back then, had him out on stage. And that was a big deal because there was a lot of breakup way back in the day, right? And they fired a bunch of people, and then they've all gotten back together.
Oh, good.
What would you say to Bob if you met him?
Oh, just thank him for all the great tunes. And, if he didn't exist, I wouldn't have this opportunity, and, I'm not sure what he thinks about tribute acts and all that. And he might think it's pretty cool if we got a good enough set list and everything like that, right? So, yeah, love to see him out at one of the shows sometime.
Yeah.
It would be very cool.
So,
we just played up in Flint, so we weren't sure, like, maybe he'll come up there.
We're hoping, yeah.
Really nice theater in Flint, too, actually.
Yeah.
Capitol Theater there, yeah. Really good.
Good. Let's talk about family in the future. Obviously, we've focused on the music, but what's Erica do?
She's an industrial seamstress at Crossroads C&I, so making insulation, tarps, blankets for different refineries. So she's a seamstress. So she's runs her department there. I think they might want to keep her around for a while because being a seamstress isn't a young girl's game.
Right. Okay.
So try to keep her on long term. She also does a travel agent as well, Andrew Borody Travel. So she's doing that while she's on maternity leave.
Yeah.
And, a couple extra dollars on the side, and I was lucky enough to get 10 weeks to be at home with the family and the baby and help out because it can be pretty stressful if the baby's not sleeping or
sure.
it's even scarier when mom's not sleeping. So
right.
everybody suffers that.
Am I doing this right?
Yeah. So help out where you can.
Yeah. What's for the future though for your family? Like beyond the music, is there other plans that's you're working on?
No, we're just we're going with the flow right now, and loving being out in Corunna.
Yeah.
It's a small, tight-knit community, and Reese, our daughter, is hockey, baseball, soccer, swimming, gymnastics, until she finds something she likes. She loves singing too, so
yeah, there you go.
Might be a theater kid or a little performer, so that would be pretty neat.
Right.
She's actually very good pitch, good control, everything. And
all right.
instead of reading books at bedtime now, we do karaoke bedtime. So
well, hey,
we sing together at bedtime instead of doing the classic story.
Yeah, what does she make you sing?
She likes Milan a lot.
Yeah.
We just started doing Pinocchio. There Are No Strings on Me. That's a big one. She loves Frozen, obviously. That's a big one.
Right.
And Canto as well. So she hears a song a couple times and she memorizes the words really fast. And little musician, I think.
And how old is she now?
She's 5.5.
5.5.
So.
Right. Look out, Dad.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I'm sure I'll see her in a lot more school plays coming up, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's great. Do you guys like to, your wife, you were talking about the travel gig there, so obviously you guys like to travel as well from that, or?
Yep. We haven't been able to the last couple of years with her being pregnant, and then COVID was a thing, right? And then, and we haven't really even got away on a honeymoon yet because Jack's been so young, and she was just starting the pregnancy during our wedding. So, we'll get away one of these times.
Okay.
The Florida thing in January will be fine with the whole family, and Reese will light up when she sees Disney kind of thing, right? I've never been there. Erica went when she was little, so it's, about the kids right now, and, when the kids can stay for a week or so overnight somewhere, then maybe Erica and I will get a chance to get away and do mom and dad stuff.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears again here with politics, and without diving too deep, is that something you follow along with, either locally or federally, or?
More federally, I think, than locally.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter, so
right.
That's where all the creatures on the internet like to gather. I've noticed. You'll see a lot of opinions, so you obviously have to filter out and use your better judgment. I'm fairly opinionated about it. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm happy at a federal level.
Yeah. With
how things are going. Even I'm a conservative. I'm not happy specifically with conservatives in Ontario right now. But that's.
What do we need to do there?
Oh gosh, there's a lot we need to do. I think. On a federal level, I think the conservatives are faring very well right now. With even polling I've seen, whether you can believe it or not, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see some interesting stuff happen between parties as we get closer to a federal election here in a couple of years. So
some alignments between
alignments to try to make sure Poilievre either doesn't win or has very limited pull if he does.
It's a numbers game, isn't it? A big part of it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So
do we have a say around here federally?
I think we do. It's hard when you get a couple cities like Vancouver and Toronto. When it comes to a vote, they usually lean one way. So one small portion, or you can have the whole map be blue or green or yellow or purple, wherever you want. But you got this little red dot over here and a little red dot there in BC. So and that can swing for the entire country, whether it's representative or not. That's why they have the elections how they do in the States, right? So something like that doesn't happen. So for better or worse, I don't know.
You mean like voting for your president? Or...
Right, how it's kind of broken up a little more into almost counties, and then that total goes, you only have a certain number of seats in one riding, where it's like you're not going to get one city deciding for the entire country.
Right.
You'll just have all the eastern and western seaboard deciding for the whole country, I guess, for the most part. But.
Right. Would you is it something maybe on a local level or a federal level? Is it something you would put your feet into and run for an office of some sort?
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
locally
municipal
or
level,
federally?
locally.
Yeah.
but doing the job I have, I'm plus music. It's at least 60 hours a week, it seems. It's a lot, and to be able to put the care and attention in that it would require to do something like that, I don't think it would be fair for.
Yeah. So people. If you had the time and you could, then you would consider it more so you'd run as a council?
Yep. Let's start with council, right?
And what do you think, what does Andrew Borody bring to the table if he were to do that?
Oh, gosh.
He's like, Burrows, what are you doing?
Honesty and to borrow a slogan, common sense. Let's be serious.
Yeah. Are we missing that?
I think we are to a certain extent. Over the years, the amount of money we were able to pull in locally, with the local industry we have and everything, I don't know. It just seems like some things have been brought up before. Like we could have done more with downtown, possibly with the access to water we have. It's a pretty nice city down by the water and the parks and everything. Beautiful. It just seems like it's just been limited to a couple fry trucks and a couple beaches. You know what I mean? For the land that is there. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful and it has improved over the years for sure. But I wouldn't say it's like a hot spot for tourists or anything like that coming in.
So there's more we could do there.
They get off a boat and they take a couple steps downtown and, they see a couple restaurants and that's it. And some boutiques and stuff like that. But I don't think Sarnia's weird. Almost don't appreciate what we have down there to a certain extent. Whether, I don't know why it doesn't get the attention it probably deserves downtown. But
yeah. I have a friend of mine that, and I say it almost every week, but he calls it the Southwestern Ontario Riviera.
Yeah.
Because of our water and everything. And okay, well, look forward to that day that you decide to run, because I watch from afar, and I just kind of go, okay, I think this guy, he just might be up to something.
Yeah, getting in fights on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah. I've kind of pulled back on that a little bit. It's kind of in some cases like, well, why am I even arguing with this one person?
I've seen I just can't let some things go. Like, Andrew, what are you doing? Like, it's not.
I can't let it go, man. I don't know.
Let's talk about Facebook in that. Have you been in Facebook jail before?
Oh, yeah. A good amount of times. Maybe 3 or 4, whether it's...
Do you ever go back and go, okay, I didn't think that through. Maybe I should have handled that differently?
I have.
Did you jump right? Yeah, okay.
Usually if I'm writing something, I know what I'm saying. I called the guy, some guy was bothering me. I said, go coo somewhere else, you pigeon. Right. And then I got a week ban for it, for calling a guy a pigeon. I will not apologize for that.
Wow.
Yeah, a pigeon. It's just,
right.
They must have been keeping their eye on me already.
Are we too sensitive these days?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can take it kind of thing. So I'm the guy at work that everyone will they can say whatever they want or make a joke or mess around with you. And I can take it, right? So I think a lot of people take themselves too seriously, I think is the issue. Or self-importance or something. There's always somebody smarter, funnier, cooler, just have fun and take a joke. Like, come on. Like, don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah. And our children, you often hear, oh, the kids today are so entitled. And yet I hear some adults talk certain ways and I think, boy, talk about entitlement. Are we?
Yeah, that's the thing. So like kids, I think they're going to grow up with a lot more information than we ever had.
Right.
And just, a kid on a tablet sitting there, they can work it at 4 years old and they're going to have a steadier access to information. We used to pull an encyclopedia off a shelf and dig through it.
Right.
Just the inefficiency of it, rather than just asking a phone or something like that. I think people do underrate kids, and they're going to get a lot more information at a very rapid rate, and they're in a lot of cases going to know way more than we do. Like maybe just at a ground level, maybe interpersonal skills. I think might be a little more weird because that's the way it is. Whereas older people tend to be a little more grounded and the people around them.
But they said that too when the first time, what was it? Word Perfect. You remember Word Perfect?
Word Perfect, yeah.
And they had autocorrect, or not autocorrect. Maybe it's autocorrect or spell check, right?
That's the original Microsoft Word, right? Word Perfect?
That was, I think so.
Yeah.
And that's that was a form of artificial intelligence.
Yep.
right? And then now we jump forward and we've got things like Grammarly, you know, that helps us
learn language. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, it'll correct it. And
right, and then
throw a parenthesis in there.
Rephrasing things. And do you know much about artificial intelligence? Have you looked at it?
I've been kind of watching from afar and seeing what it can do. As far as like even creating art, it's insane. Machine learning kind of deep fakes, where you can get a Luke Skywalker now on a TV show, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Is it dangerous?
If not wielded correctly, sure. Anything can be, especially anything that powerful. Well, and the age of information, where you can change information to make it whatever you want, if you're the one that controls or holds the reins to it, basically. You know, you in a couple of years you'll be watching the news, I think, and not even know if it's a real image or if it's really happening, or if there's somebody speaking on TV.
Well, we see that now on Facebook, right? You know, like I'm into the financial markets, so I see all these things pop up on my Facebook, and my buddy's like, "Oh, look at this! Like Elon Musk, this," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
it's crap."
I'm telling you, I've had it. Yeah, even
there are AIs out there that help you with that, but I mean, when you see like. Anyway.
Yeah. It's just crazy how much we've come from your teacher saying, well, you're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket, so do that long division, and then you end up with on your watch you're doing it.
You know, Tracy, and now, right? Talking
that's right. Yeah. Great reference, Dick Tracy.
Well, it's true.
Underrated.
He was like 50s comic book character talking to his watch. And now we have walkie-talkies on our watch.
Now we do it.
Yeah.
Get Erica walking around having a full-blown phone call on her watch. Oh my gosh!
Right?
Yeah, just the accent. Kids don't even need to write book reports anymore. They'll just ask the computer to do it. Make it sound like I'm 8.
Yeah, right.
As an 8-year-old, your book report right there, right?
Right.
Oh.
Is that going to hurt the learning process, or?
I think it will.
Yeah.
Whether or not some information that you used to learn in school is as useful as it used to be as well. Like,
well, I used to hate history, but I'm glad I took it.
Yeah,
I had to, because now I can have a conversation about things.
Yep. Right? I was always a big English spelling, punctuation. Yeah. If I see anything sloppy or like different formats on one page, it still drives me insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Next time I type you a message, I'll know to really screw it
up. Oh, yeah, please do.
Fix that, yeah.
But, mathematics, that was one thing I didn't love in college, because I never took it at a university level in high school. And then all of a sudden I'm doing integration and derivatives, all calculus and everything at college. It's like, oh my gosh.
I don't even know how to spell those things.
No, it's one of those things where you write the test, the information's in, and you write the test, and all the information just onto the page, and you don't think about it ever again. I don't know why I had to learn calculus for the job I do. I think it's to make the course longer and get more of your money kind of thing. It's very possible the colleges do that. Not saying they do, but they might. So, yeah.
What about our educational system, like even at a elementary or secondary level? Is there things missing that we're not teaching that you'd like to see there?
I wouldn't say I have the familiarity with that kind of, for that kind of question, the information. Reese is in kindergarten, so I haven't really seen it. I went to private school, so I wasn't sure what they were teaching back then. And yeah, as far as that's concerned, but yeah, I'm glad I did the private school thing. You know, you kind of get just morally, whether you practice it or not, just how to treat people every day, and good structure, family structure, I think is important. I think it's underrated. It's kind of fallen by the wayside, the importance of it.
For sure.
I'm kind of old-fashioned that way, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think having a good, strong family support system is key, development for kids, and even there's statistics that back that up, how well a child can end up doing in life. Not in every case, but obviously in a lot of cases.
Well, just being able to have a parent at home.
Yes.
While one works, right? But that's not always financially possible, right?
Harder and harder too. Yeah. And the way things are going inflation-wise, it's hard for, like, I'm blessed enough to have a decent income, and Erica works as well. But some families that might not be as fortunate, it's like, how are they getting by with the way things are right now? And is there a stop to it? Yeah. And it seems like just.
And then that brings in the mental health issue into it again. Stress and
absolutely, stress is a big factor in that, I think.
How are we treating each other out there in this world? Could we still be kinder or are we handling things right?
I don't think it's as bad in that case as some people would think. You get out there and maybe I'm a social butterfly, so I'll meet people. It's never like anyone's rude. Everyone's usually really helpful and friendly if you're helpful and friendly to them, Yeah. So even I like to look at strangers and say hi when I walk by them, you know what I mean? Like, and that might be the part and parcel of living in a smaller town. I guess big cities, I'm always looking, I'm like, oh, do I know anybody?
Right.
Well, of course I don't. If I'm in Cincinnati, I'm not going to see somebody I know. Right. But for some reason, I'm always looking around, ready to say hello to people. So I don't know. In a bigger city, it would be a lot more difficult, and people got stuff to do, and they don't want to be bothered. But I don't know. I just like people.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You've always been like, ever since I was like, there's a guy you're approachable, and but you're honest and genuine too, I think, at the same time.
Yeah.
That's important to you as well.
I try to be, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I played a gig at a friend's party a couple weeks ago. And he goes, well, what makes you tick? Why do you play music? I'm like, I don't know, I like it. He's like, it's not like money or anything. I'm like, well, it's a little extra, but I just like getting out and seeing people, Especially as I'm getting older. I used to go to the bar every night off and see everybody and sing songs and get drunk and hang out. Now it's, you're at home, so it's nice to get out of the house and play some music and, hey, what song do you want to hear? I haven't seen you in a while,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cliche question, but what do you want for your kids? Oh. Besides the, better than me and all that, what do you really want for them?
I just want them to have a continued decent upbringing where we're able to help them out. Be able to afford the extracurricular activities and sports, and that does a lot for them socially as well as being healthy and active. And just be a good influence on them, and so they can do well and get what they want in life. Like you said, don't say better than, but I'd love for that. Fair. I'd love for that.
Yeah.
It just keep improving. A good set of morals, a good foundation, like mentally. And financially, if I can help out with school or anything like that. So keep putting money away for education, and maybe one day they'll vote for free college education, and I can get all that money back.
Right.
That'd be nice. We'll see. Hey, maybe I should run for. There we go.
Free college education.
Yeah.
Would you be up for that? Seriously?
I've seriously thought about it. Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yep.
Let's pay for them to go to school as long as they keep a certain average.
Keep a certain average and actually attend. Sure. I
structure there.
Yeah, like high interest student loans and stuff like that.
It's crazy, right?
It's not helpful.
You don't want your kids to pay for that and then get ready to go into the working world and they're already in debt.
Plus, buying a house for the first time now is next to impossible for somebody that doesn't make an insane amount of money out of school. So they come out and they're already in a hole with people shoveling dirt on their heads. So
I've got friends of mine who have their kids live at home and they have like great careers, like a teacher, railroad, and they're still living at home because they're like, wow, I'm not sure I can buy a house.
It's shocking. It's shocking.
What's a career anymore?
Yep.
Yeah.
And even you're going to college, you're paying for it, and say you're a nurse and you're getting co-ops and doing some pretty dirty work, and it's not a paid co-op, and you're lucky to have this co-op. You know what I mean? Like, they get out of school and they're paying for tests and for their licenses and everything. Like, it's one fee after another all the way through. That job specifically, I think, really gets it rough until they're there for a couple of years and get some tenure as a nurse. Like, it's pretty wild. You got to really enjoy what you like.
Special kind of person to do that job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Do you ever? I mean, obviously you're working at Shell and you're enjoying that. But if you weren't doing that, is there another career that you thought about before you went and did that?
Well, originally I went for business, but that's because my dad said, "You're going to college." I went, all right. So I took accounting. I took it for about a semester. Then I was like, this is awful. I don't like it. You know, math, that thing I don't like that I just said, right. Let's just do it all the time.
Right.
You know, no, I think I'd be a good teacher.
Yeah, I think it's funny you say that. I was thinking that earlier.
Yeah. These days, I don't think some of my conservative values would specifically align with some of the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But that's not an issue. I mean,
what about being a stand-up comedian? Have you ever thought of trying that?
I thought about that too. That's scary.
I know.
That's scary.
I thought about it too. I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
I don't.
I'd go see you.
I don't know if it would be the getting up in front of people or the potential of people just not thinking I'm funny.
Right. That's the one for me.
That would just rip me up inside.
Up in front of people, but when they just sit there and I'm like, wow, that was really funny, and you're just kind of faking the clap right now.
Yeah. I know what you're doing. But please keep doing it.
Yeah. Right.
Oh gosh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're multi-talented, and I'm grateful for what you've done in our community. I've seen that, and your music. I guess we don't talk all the time, but I follow, I watch, and I like it. I was just saying to my wife the other day, that guy right there, he's super talented, and it doesn't go unnoticed by a lot of people what you do around here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave,
for everything. And
appreciate
I was really excited all week when I was like, I'm always looking for the next interview, right?
Yeah,
and I was like, why wouldn't I talk to him?
There you go. We already got Christopher Molyneux, another classic Seger guy a while back.
Yeah, that's right. He did a great job. And,
he's awesome.
Maybe I'll end up doing the whole band, for an interview. There you go.
Do it.
Right on. Thanks so much for having me in your home.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching, and click the like and the love, but as I always say, click the share button. Share Andrew's story and everybody else we talk to here on the show. But as always, that's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. We'll see you next time here in the show. Bye for now. That's it.
Great. Thank you very much.